All right, guys, in this video, we're going to be talking about why I think men should be well-rounded. Not only in fitness, fitness serves as a foundation, and I think it should be at the very top for every man. Fitness always comes first. Obviously, you walk into a room, what's the first thing people notice is your physical condition, how you present yourself, how you dress, everything else. But, your physical fitness is something you carry with you. It's a badge of honor, and it shows the years of work and dedication that you've put into building your body, right? And that's very important. But that just serves as a foundation for everything else. Men should be well read. Men should be able to have some degree of being able to defend themselves. Men should be able to hold a conversation, be able to shake someone's hand and look people in the eye when they speak. First thing you have to do to become a well-rounded man is to win the morning. Win the morning. The very first hour you wake up, first thing you do, obviously after brushing your teeth and washing your face, drinking some electrolytes, some water, is to go outside first thing in the morning and grab some sunlight. Just get some sunlight. Go for a 10-minute walk. If you don't have time for an hour walk, you have a busy schedule, then at least go outside and walk around for a few minutes. Get your circadian rhythm going, raise your vibration, drink your water, have some coffee a little bit later. The second thing is reading. It's one of the most underrated things that, people don't really talk about. Dedicate every day to reading at least 30 to 60 minutes, and there's just something about a man who walks around, that has read thousands, hundreds or thousands of books. There's this aura about you. There's this there's versatility that you exude when you walk into any room, and people can just tell, people just feel it. So, win the morning by reading, win the morning by picking a topic that you like, that you're interested in. It could be sales, it could be fitness. I geek out on exercise science, or anything business or sales related. Read on that. Become a well-rounded man by expanding your knowledge. Don't just zone in on one thing. Learn about different things. That way you can converse. Plus, when you're on a date, you have things to talk about. You have aside from stories and experiences and things that you've been through, you actually have topics. When you win that morning, when you set yourself that goal, and this is how I'm going to attack the day, then you have no room for addictions. Suddenly it's like a domino effect. You start to plan out your day. It just kind of falls naturally. It incentivizes you. You're like, well, I won the first 2 hours. That means I can win the next 2 hours, and so on. And it should also be well-rounded because, let's just take two scenarios. We have man A, makes millions of dollars every year. But he completely neglects his fitness. He's not on top of his reading. He doesn't go for his walks. He doesn't do his, typical morning routine. He doesn't routinely go on dates. Doesn't interact with women the way that he should be interacting with women. There will come a time to where he will get taken advantage of. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how much money you've made. If you don't exercise other areas of your life, then you're going to be at a severe, disadvantage. And now man B, he could be married. He could be only making $100,000 a year. But he's in great shape. If he's not married, he's routinely going on dates. He's practicing his interactions with women. He's putting the work to become more well-rounded. He reads every morning. He meditates. He does his breath work, whatever it is that he likes to do. But he practices many different areas of his life. And for me, that man is going to have way more opportunity. He's going to learn to deal with women a lot better than the other guy who just zoned in on making money and completely forgot about his fitness. He completely neglected his social life, his family. That's a losing game for man A. But man B, he may be making less on the surface. I'm not saying make less money. What I'm saying is focus on other areas. Good example are great men in history. We're all well-rounded men. Jesus, Alexander the Great, Teddy Roosevelt. It's said that Teddy Roosevelt read over 10,000 books. Jesus was a carpenter. He preached, he studied daily. Alexander the Great, his tutor, Aristotle, served as a mentor to him, instilled in him a sense of education and curiosity, encouraged him to read, to become well-rounded, astute, well-spoken. And these concepts are not new. And the same thing applies to the modern man. Right, I just came back from my walk. It was a little dark out, so I came back. But yes, men should become well-rounded. It's a non-negotiable, especially now, where things are just way too polarizing. You have one side, overly focused on fitness, fitness, money. You should have a well-rounded approach to everything that you do. In the morning with your reading, your walking, your strength sessions, a couple days a week. Focus on a skill, learn about something that you enjoy doing, and become a well-rounded man. And this is my message for this video. I hope you got tremendous value. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll stay tuned for more. Peace out.